There are forces in the universe that even gods fear to disturb. Between realities, where dimensions brush against one another like silk veils, barriers exist for reasons mortals cannot comprehend. When those barriers break, consequences ripple across existence itself. In a fortress of obsidian and bone, Shang Tsung spoke words of power that should never have been uttered. The sorcerer's hands moved in patterns defying natural law, weaving magical energies into a summoning circle pulsing with hungry red light. He sought a champion powerful enough to tip Mortal Kombat's balance in Outworld's favor. The spell reached across dimensions, searching, pulling, demanding, and it found someone. Clark Kent had no time to react before reality seized him. The interdimensional rift tore him from his Earth and hurled him through spaces between worlds. When Superman crashed into Shang Tsung's chamber, the impact shattered stone and sent the sorcerer flying. The Man of Steel rose slowly, his red cape settling as he took in his surroundings. This wasn't Metropolis. The architecture was ancient, brutal, decorated with torture implements and dark symbols. The air tasted of blood and sorcery. Shang Tsung pulled himself upright, eyes widening as he studied what his spell had captured. The being wore strange garments, blue and red, with an unfamiliar symbol on its chest. But the power radiating from this creature was unmistakable. Raw, immense, intoxicating, fascinating, the sorcerer whispered. I sought a warrior, and the realms delivered a god. Superman's eyes narrowed. His X-ray vision activated instinctively, and what he saw made his jaw tighten. The man's body was sustained by stolen life force, thousands of souls trapped within him. Whatever this place was, he was dealing with pure evil. Where am I? Superman demanded. What did you do? I brought you to Outworld, alien, Shang Tsung replied, circling slowly. You have been summoned to participate in Mortal Kombat, the tournament deciding the fate of realms. Most beings would kill for such opportunity. Superman's super hearing caught sounds beyond the chamber, screams, clashing weapons, wet sounds of brutality. I don't know what tournament you're talking about, but I'm not interested. Send me back, now. The sorcerer's laugh was like grinding glass. You misunderstand, Kryptonian. Shang Tsung's eyes flashed with magical insight, and Superman felt chilled. How did this man know what he was? The spell binding you cannot be easily reversed. You remain here until the tournament concludes. Fight, and you may earn freedom. Refuse, and watch your home realm burn. Superman moved faster than human eyes could follow, lifting Shang Tsung by the throat. I've dealt with magicians before. Most learn that threatening me is a poor life choice. You're going to send me home, or... Thunder cracked through the chamber like heaven's voice. White lightning exploded between them, forcing them apart with divine authority. When light faded, a figure stood between them, tall, wearing a conical hat and storm cloud robes. Eyes glowing with electric blue power, regarded Superman with mixed curiosity and concern. Enough, Raiden said, his voice carrying thunder's resonance. Shang Tsung, your spell violated cosmic law. This being disrupts the natural order. The Thunder God turned to Superman. You are far from home, child of Krypton. I sense your nobility, your desire to protect. But you've been pulled into affairs beyond your understanding. This is Mortal Kombat, a sacred tournament ordained by the Elder Gods. Earthrealm's fate hangs in the balance. Superman lowered his fists slightly. I don't care about your tournament. I have responsibilities. People need me. Send me back. Raiden's expression grew grave. I cannot. Shang Tsung's spell bound you to this realm's energy. The chains cannot break until the tournament concludes. You are trapped here, Superman of Krypton. The only path home leads through Mortal Kombat itself. The man of steel felt truth in those words like physical weight. His super senses felt muted here, as if physics operated differently. The air was thick with magical energy his Kryptonian biology struggled to process. He could feel his powers, but diminished. Not gone, but definitely weaker. "Then I'll fight in your tournament," Superman said finally. "But on my terms. I don't kill, ever. If that's a problem, find another way to send me home." Shang Tsung's laugh echoed mockingly. "How delightful. A warrior with a conscience. I look forward to watching Outworld's champions tear that precious morality from your bleeding corpse." The sorcerer vanished in green flame, leaving sulfur's scent. Raiden placed a hand on Superman's shoulder, surprisingly gentle for a god. "Walk with me, Kryptonian. Much must be understood, and time is short. The tournament begins at dawn. Outworld's champions are the most brutal warriors in all realms. If you wish to survive to see home again, you must prepare for savagery you've never encountered." As Superman followed the Thunder God from the chamber, he cast one last look at the summoning circle. The magical symbols still glowed with residual energy, pulsing like a malevolent heartbeat. Somewhere in the fortress, someone screamed, a sound cut short with horrible finality. Superman's jaw tightened. Whatever this Mortal Kombat was, whatever horrors awaited, he would face them as he faced every challenge. With hope, with determination, and with unshakable belief there was always another way than killing. Even here, in this realm of blood and dark magic, he would prove heroism could exist. He had to, because if he couldn't maintain his principles here, then what kind of hero was he, really? The tournament would test everything he believed in, and Clark Kent had never failed a test that truly mattered. Raiden led Superman through corridors carved from living rock, each passage lined with torches burning without fuel. The Thunder God moved with quiet purpose, footsteps silent on stone. Superman's enhanced hearing picked up everything. Distant crowd roars, clashing steel, the gurgling last breaths of defeated warriors. This place was a monument to violence. "You feel it, don't you?" Raiden said without turning. "The weight of this realm, the magic permeating every atom. It is anathema to your Kryptonian physiology." Superman flexed his hand, testing his strength. He could still bend steel, still fly, still move faster than sound. But it felt wrong, like running through water instead of air. "My powers are weaker here." "Not weaker," Raiden corrected, stopping at a balcony overlooking a massive arena. "Transforming. This realm operates on spiritual energy, on chi and soul power. Your solar-based abilities struggle to adapt. You are still formidable, Superman, but no longer invincible." Below, the arena sprawled like a coliseum from hell. Thousands of spectators filled the stands. Four-armed Shokan warriors towered over smaller species. Insectoid beings chattered in untranslatable languages. In the center, two fighters clashed with savage intensity. One wielded ice like a living weapon. The other countered with flames, turning the battlefield into steaming marsh. "Mortal Kombat has existed for millennia," Raiden explained. "When realms wish to conquer one another, the Elder Gods ordained champions must fight rather than armies. 10 consecutive victories, and the winning realm may merge with the losing one. Outworld has won 9 times against Earthrealm. One more victory, and your world, though not the one you know, falls to Shao Kahn's tyranny." Superman's eyes widened. "Earth's fate rests on a fighting tournament." "It is the Elder God's law," Raiden said simply. "It has prevented countless wars, saved billions across infinite realms. Yes, it demands blood, but it's far less brutal than total realm warfare." The fight below ended with sickening finality. The ice wielder drove a frozen spear through his opponent's chest, then ripped the man's spine from his body in a gore shower. The crowd erupted. Superman turned away, face pale. "I can't be part of this," he said quietly. "Then Earthrealm falls," Raiden replied, voice hard, "and billions die. Shao Kahn does not rule with mercy, Kryptonian. He conquers, enslaves, destroys. Every person in Earthrealm will suffer fates worse than death if Outworld wins." Superman's fists clenched. "There has to be another way." "In your universe, perhaps," Raiden said, tone softening. "But you are not in your universe anymore. Here, the rules are different. I understand your moral code, Superman. I even admire it. But if you cannot adapt, you doom an entire realm." A figure materialized on the balcony in swirling blue energy. The new arrival wore simple monk's robes, a red headband around his forehead. His stance radiated discipline and confidence. His eyes held wisdom beyond his years and determination that reminded Clark of Batman. "Raiden," the monk said, bowing respectfully. His gaze shifted to Superman, eyes widening. "This is the champion Shang Tsung summoned?" "Liu Kang, meet Superman, champion of another Earth." "From another universe entirely," Raiden replied. "Superman, this is Liu Kang, Earthrealm's greatest warrior." Liu Kang studied Superman with a fighter's practiced eye. "Another universe? Impossible. So is a man who can fly and shoot fire from his eyes," Superman countered. "Yet here I am." Liu Kang's expression remained neutral, but his stance shifted subtly, preparation for combat. "Raiden, if Outworld summoned him, he fights for them. He's our enemy." "No," Raiden said firmly. "Shang Tsung's spell backfired. He pulled Superman from his home against his will. The Kryptonian has no allegiance here. He wishes only to return home." "The only way home is through the tournament," Raiden continued. "He must fight Liu Kang. But I believe he can fight for Earthrealm." Liu Kang's eyes narrowed. "Can he? I heard his conversation. He refuses to kill. In Mortal Kombat, mercy is death. If he won't finish opponents, he'll fall. And if he falls fighting for Earthrealm, we lose." Superman stepped forward, cape billowing. "I've faced world-ending threats, fought gods and monsters, saved my Earth more times than I can count, and I've done it without killing. Don't tell me what I can or cannot do." Tension thickened. Liu Kang's hands shifted into ready stance, chi energy flickering around his fists, actual visible energy like fire but more primal. Raiden raised a hand, lightning crackling between his fingers in warning. "Enough," the Thunder God commanded. "You are both champions. If you fight each other, Outworld wins by default." He turned to Liu Kang. "Test him if you must, but do not make him an enemy." Liu Kang held Superman's gaze, then nodded slowly. "Tomorrow, in the arena, before the tournament officially begins, we fight. Not to death, but to first blood. I'll see if this alien truly has skill to survive, and he'll see if his morality can withstand brutal reality." Superman nodded once. "Agreed. But understand something, Liu Kang. I don't lose, ever, and I don't need to kill to win." The monk's expression remained unreadable. "We shall see." He vanished in blue energy, leaving incense scent behind. Raiden sighed, the sound of distant thunder. "Rest, Kryptonian. Tomorrow you face your first true test. Liu Kang is the most skilled martial artist in Earthrealm. If you wish to earn Earthrealm's trust, prove yourself against him." Superman looked over the arena, watching servants drag away the mutilated corpse. "I've never backed down from a challenge, but I won't become like them. I won't let this place change who I am." "Then pray your principles are as strong as your powers," Raiden replied. Because Mortal Kombat breaks the strongest warriors, and you have never faced anything like what awaits you here. The Thunder God disappeared in lightning flash, leaving Superman alone with his thoughts and distant screams of the dying. Dawn broke over Outworld's arena with dried blood's color. Superman stood center arena, boots on sand that had drunk thousands of warriors' lives. He'd meditated through the night, a Batman technique for impossible battles. Nothing prepared him for this. Raiden stood at one end, white eyes watching. Opposite, Shang Tsung lounged on a bone throne, smiled predatory. Scattered warriors radiated danger. Liu Kang entered from the eastern gate, fluid grace personified. He'd removed his shirt, revealing lean muscle honed by decades. Red and black dragon tattoos coiled up his arms, seeming to move. "You slept poorly," Liu Kang observed, stopping 20 feet away. "Hard to sleep hearing people die," Superman replied. His super hearing caught everything: torture, murder, suffering. He'd wanted to intervene 100 times. Raiden warned interfering would violate tournament law, so Superman listened to death and hated himself. Liu Kang's expression softened. "First night is hardest. You learn to block it out, or screams drive you mad." "I don't want to block it out," Superman said. "The day I ignore suffering, I stop being a hero." "Noble words," a new voice called. Superman's gaze snapped to stands where a figure sat cross-legged. The man wore yellow and black, mask covering his lower face. His eyes glowed with cold light. Everything radiated death. But nobility means nothing in Mortal Kombat. Only strength matters. "Sub-Zero," Liu Kang said warningly. "This isn't your fight." The assassin stood, frost forming beneath his feet. "I merely observe. The Lin Kuei wishes to see if this alien is worth rumors." "I see only a man in a cape." Superman's jaw tightened. Sub-Zero felt different from other assassins, colder, more absolute. This man's killing was nature itself. "I'm not here to make enemies," Superman said. "I just want home." "Then you should have stayed there," Sub-Zero replied. "This realm breaks outsiders. You'll die here. Your weakness is obvious. You care too much." Liu Kang stepped forward. "Enough talk." The monk dropped into modified kung fu stance, aggressive, lethal. "First blood ends the match. No killing blows. This is assessment." Superman floated inches off ground. "Ready?" "Then begin," Liu Kang said, and moved. The monk was fast, faster than any human Superman fought outside Flash. Liu Kang closed distance in a blur, spinning kick aimed at Superman's jaw. Clark blocked instinctively. The impact shockwaved through air. That kick had force enough to shatter concrete. This wasn't normal strength. This was Chai. Liu Kang springboarded off Superman's arm, flipping backward. Before Superman reacted, the monk thrust both palms forward. Fire erupted. Actual fire. White hot. Superman darted left, fireball missing by inches. He felt heat even through invulnerability. "You're using magic." "Chi," Liu Kang corrected, moving again. "Life force flowing through all living things. Humans can harness it with training. You call it ki or spirit energy. We call it chi, as real as your alien strength." The monk launched combinations that would overwhelm most fighters. Superman barely blocked each strike. Liu Kang was mastery perfected. Every movement had purpose. Superman retaliated with pulled punch, 1/10 full strength. He didn't want to kill, but needed to show he wasn't helpless. His fist moved faster than sound, aimed at shoulder. Liu Kang blurred left. Superman's punch hit air. Before recovery, Liu Kang's chi-empowered kick caught his ribs, actually hurt. Superman gasped from surprise. When had a normal human's attack hurt him? "You're holding back," Liu Kang said, circling. You think restraint makes you honorable. In real fights, it kills you. I'm here to prove I can fight without killing, Superman replied. There's a difference. Show me, Liu Kang challenged. Attacked again. Superman didn't hold back, not completely. He used speed, flight, tactical thinking. Struck from angles Liu Kang couldn't anticipate. Three-dimensional combat the monk couldn't easily counter. But every time Superman thought he had opening, Liu Kang adapted. The monk learned his patterns. They traded blows for minutes. Superman's respect grew with each exchange. This was a warrior who dedicated life to perfecting art. Even against Superman's diminished powers, the monk held his own through sheer skill. Finally, Superman saw opportunity. Liu Kang overextended on roundhouse, defenses open for a fraction second. Superman moved, catching the monk's leg, using momentum to throw him, gently, toward arena wall. Liu Kang twisted impossibly midair, landing wall first and rebounding. He came like a missile, fists wreathed in white fire. Flying dragon kick. Impact drove Superman backward, boots skidding through sand. Liu Kang's chi strike actually moved him. Superman's chest burned where fists connected, chi energy bypassing invulnerability to strike deeper. Life force, soul. Impressive, Superman admitted. Most can't make me step back. You're not fighting most people, Liu Kang replied, breathing heavily. Sweat poured down his face. Chi-enhanced or not, Liu Kang was tiring. You're fighting Earthrealm's champion. Liu Kang's eyes glowed, fire burning behind pupils. Dragon tattoos moved, coiling alive. Power radiated in waves. The dragon spirit, Raiden's voice carried. Liu Kang, is that necessary? He asked for a test, Liu Kang replied, voice echoing strangely. I'm giving one. The monk moved impossibly fast now. Strikes came from every angle, each empowered by draconic fire. Superman blocked what he could, dodged rest, but some got through. Each hit burned not skin, but something deeper. Essence. Superman released more power. He'd been holding back, trying not to hurt Liu Kang. But the monk was right. Restraint at wrong moments was arrogance. If Liu Kang went all out, Superman owed same respect. He moved full speed, becoming red and blue blur. Fists struck with precision and power, each blow calculated to disable without killing. Targeted pressure points, joints, non-lethal areas. Liu Kang met him blow for blow, arena erupting in force explosions as alien might clashed spiritual power. When they connected, simultaneous strikes, shockwave cracked arena floor, sent sand flying. Liu Kang's fist connected with Superman's jaw. Superman's palm struck Liu Kang's sternum. Both fighters thrown backward, blood trickled from Superman's mouth. First time in years. Liu Kang's chest bore red mark where Superman struck. The monk rose slowly, breathing hard, dragon glow fading. First blood, Liu Kang said, gesturing to Superman's split lip. The match is yours. Superman wiped blood from his lip. Liu Kang approached, no longer in fighting stance. Expression shifted to something approaching respect. You fight with skill I didn't expect, Liu Kang admitted. Raw power, yes, but also restraint. You could have killed me dozen times, but chose not to. That takes discipline. Where I come from, heroes don't kill, Superman replied. And if there is no other way, Liu Kang asked, if the choice is kill or watch innocents die, there's always another way. Before Liu Kang could respond, temperature plummeted. Frost crept across sand. Superman's breath misted. Sub-Zero dropped from stands, landing silently. Ice formed beneath his feet. Impressive display, the assassin said coldly. But demonstrations mean nothing. Liu Kang pulled his finishing blow. In real Mortal Kombat, Your opponent won't show mercy. Sub-Zero's eyes fixed on Superman. I would test you myself, see if your flesh withstands absolute zero. Liu Kang stepped between them. Sub-Zero, the test is complete. Proven what? Earthrealm's trust, Sub-Zero interrupted. The Lin Kuei answers to no realm. We serve our own interests. I am interested in seeing what happens when Kryptonian biology meets cryomancy. Stand down, Sub-Zero, Raiden's voice boomed. Thunder rumbled. This is not the time. Get over here. The shout came from opposite end. A chain shot through air, kunai blade gleaming with hellfire. Clark's reflexes kicked in. He caught the kunai an inch from his heart, chain wrapping his forearm. The chain went taut. Superman was yanked forward. At chain's end stood a figure wreathed in flame, skull-faced specter in yellow and black. Scorpion. Another test? Superman growled. How many warriors must I fight? Scorpion pulled chain back. Except... The voice was inhuman, echoing. You are unknown element in sacred tournament. Unknown elements are eliminated. Fire erupted around Scorpion's body, transforming him into living inferno. Heat melted sand beneath to glass. This wasn't just fire manipulation. This was hellfire, flames from the nether realm. Scorpion, you exceed authority, Raiden warned, lightning crackling. This matter. For warriors to decide, Scorpion interrupted. Not gods. The Shirai Ryu clan was destroyed because gods and sorcerers played games. I won't stand idle while another unknown element threatens balance. The alien fights or bleeds. Choose. Superman's X-ray vision penetrated Scorpion's flames. The Spectre's skeleton was visible, burning with eternal fire. This wasn't living man. This was Revenant, creature of vengeance given form. I don't want to fight you, Superman said carefully, but I will if forced. Good, Scorpion replied, and teleported. He vanished in flame, reappearing behind Superman. Kunai drove toward Clark's spine. Superman spun, catching Scorpion's wrist, but the Spectre's other hand moved. Hellfire erupted point blank, engulfing Superman in supernatural heat. Clark gritted teeth. The fire hurt, not as much as it would hurt normal people, but enough. Hellfire was magical energy, pain given physical form. It bypassed invulnerability, attacking life force directly. Superman flew upward, carrying Scorpion. They burst through arena's upper levels. Superman's plan was simple. Get high enough to avoid collateral damage, then disable Spectre without killing. You cannot escape vengeance, alien, Scorpion shouted, flame intensifying. The Spectre twisted impossibly, wrapping chain around Clark's neck. Metal burned like heated iron. Everyone pays for sins. I haven't sinned against you, Superman shot back. I don't even know you. You exist, Scorpion hissed. That is sin enough. Your presence disrupts everything. Shang Tsung summoned you for a reason. Whatever role you play in his schemes ends here. They crashed back into arena, impact cratering stone. Superman rolled up defensive. Scorpion landed cat-like, already moving. The Spectre's style was brutal efficiency, every strike aimed to kill. Hellfire never stopped. Waves Superman constantly dodged or endured. He's right, Sub-Zero called from sidelines, sitting on ice throne. Shang Tsung summoned you for a purpose. Your presence changes equations. Variables must be eliminated. This isn't fair, Liu Kang shouted. Superman is one man. Against warriors who've killed hundreds, Sub-Zero finished. Welcome to Mortal Kombat. Fairness is illusion. Superman caught Scorpion's chain mid-strike, swinging the Spectre. Scorpion hit arena wall, but teleported before impact, reappearing behind Superman. Kunai drove into Clark's shoulder, not penetrating, but hellfire burned like acid. You're fast, Superman admitted, grabbing Scorpion. But I'm faster. He moved super speed, creating whirlwind. Scorpion spun, disoriented. Superman released him. Spectre flew across arena, slamming opposite wall. Scorpion rose slowly, Hellfire flickering weaker. Impressive, but not enough. I've fought in Netherrealm itself. Battled demons and gods. You may be powerful, but you're not immortal. Not like me. I cannot die. Can you say the same? Superman hesitated. In this realm, weakened by magic, invulnerability compromised. Could he actually die here? He'd faced death but never felt truly vulnerable. Here, where magic reigned supreme, he wasn't sure. Scorpion took advantage. "Get over here!" Chains struck, and Hellfire exploded outward in massive burst. Force drove Clark to knees, pain lancing through chest. Hellfire was inside him, burning from within, attacking his soul. "Enough!" Raiden's voice shook arena. Lightning struck between them, electrical fury separating combatants. Thunder God materialized, eyes blazing with divine wrath. "This ends now. Stand down or face my judgment." Scorpion's Hellfire dimmed. "This isn't over. The alien is threat. The alien is under my protection," Raiden declared. "As are all Earthrealm's champions. Respect that, or find yourself barred from tournament. Is that what you want? Denied your chance at redemption?" Redemption struck Scorpion like physical blow. Flames guttered. Superman saw genuine anguish in hollow eyes. Whatever sins haunted him, redemption mattered more than vengeance. "Very well," Scorpion said finally. "But if you prove the threat I suspect, if Shang Tsung's plans involve you, I will kill you, divine protection or not." Spectre vanished in flames, leaving sulfur smell. Sub-Zero stood from Ice Throne, stretching. How disappointing. I hoped to see carnage, eyes fixed on Superman. But perhaps later, when tournament truly begins, we'll see if your principles survive the first fatality you're forced to witness or commit. Lin K Warrior dissolved into snow and wind, leaving frost patterns. Superman remained kneeling, breathing hard. Hellfire had dissipated, but effects lingered. He felt drained, spiritually depleted. Magic here was hostile to his existence. Liu Kang approached, offering hand. "Come. You need rest before tournament begins. And perhaps we need to talk about what happens when restraint isn't an option." Superman took the monk's hand, pulling himself upright. His split lip had healed. Regeneration still worked. But Liu Kang's eyes spoke volumes. The Earthrealm champion was worried. "How do I beat them?" Superman asked quietly. "How do I win without killing?" Liu Kang was silent for a long moment. "I don't know if you can," he finally admitted. "But if anyone can find a way, perhaps it's you." Raiden led them to a chamber carved from single obsidian piece. Walls reflected distorted images, glimpses of other realms, battles, fallen champions. Superman saw his reflection fractured across 1,000 surfaces, some triumphant, others broken, many dead. "The Chamber of Visions," Raiden said, "where warriors confront what they might become. Superman, you asked how to win without killing. The answer is complicated." Liu Kang settled into lotus position. Superman remained standing, cape settling like crimson wings. His hearing picked up distant sounds, chains rattling, screaming, wet violence. Tournament preparations were underway. "Mortal Kombat has ancient laws," Raiden continued. "When two warriors face each other, battle continues until one surrenders, is incapacitated, or dies. No middle ground. No judges. So I incapacitate them," Superman said. "And if they refuse to stay down?" Liu Kang asked quietly. "If they keep rising, keep fighting, because death is preferable to defeat." Superman's jaw tightened. "I'll find a way." "You don't understand," Raiden said with frustration. "This isn't your world. This isn't a universe where villains go to prison. In Outworld, strength is the only law. Mercy is weakness. Weakness invites death." Thunder God raised his hand. Lightning crackled, coalescing into hologram, massive figure seated on skull throne, 8 feet tall, physique making bodybuilders look malnourished, bone-decorated armor, dragon skull helmet, eyes glowing malevolent red. "Shao Kahn," Raiden said, "Emperor of Outworld, conqueror of 1,000 realms, ruled 10,000 years through strength alone. He does not negotiate, does not show mercy, does not accept surrender. To challenge Shao Kahn is to accept death, yours or his." Superman studied the image. "I've fought dictators before. Darkseid makes this Shao Kahn look like a street thug." "Have you killed Darkseid?" Liu Kang asked. The question hung like accusation. Superman's silence was answer. "That's the difference," Liu Kang continued. "You've defeated enemies, imprisoned them, but you haven't ended them. They continue threatening your world because you won't do what's necessary. Here, that hesitation will destroy you. Worse, it will destroy everyone depending on you. If Earth Realm loses," Raiden said, hologram shifting to show armies marching, cities burning, people screaming, "Shao Kahn will merge our realm with Outworld. Every person becomes his property, the strong enslaved, the weak slaughtered. And there will be no one to save them because heroes chose mercy over victory." Superman's fists clenched. "You're asking me to become a murderer." "I'm asking you to be a warrior," Raiden replied. "Murder is killing for pleasure, gain, cruelty. War is killing to protect, defend, preserve life at cost of taking it. Your world offered alternatives. This world does not." "Raiden speaks truth," a new voice said. Superman spun, heat vision charging. A figure materialized from shadows, woman in purple, beauty somehow predatory. Royal garb, authority speaking of power. Her eyes assessed Superman like hunter studies prey. "Princess Kitana," Liu Kang said, rising. Tone respectful but wary. "What brings Outworld's royalty here?" Kitana smiled without warmth. "Curiosity." Word spread throughout realms that a strange warrior appeared, one who fights with godlike power but childlike morality. I had to see if rumors were true. She circled Superman slowly, movements dancer-like, graceful. Superman recognized fighter's gait. Dangerous. "You're beautiful," Kitana observed, "in an alien way. Strong, fast, powerful, but also soft. You haven't killed anyone, have you? Not in all your battles. Never taken a life." "That's right," Superman said, meeting her gaze. "And I never will." Kitana laughed like breaking glass. "How delightful. How precious. Tell me, when Shao Kahn, my adopted father, crushes your skull beneath his boot, will you maintain that precious morality? When he's grinding your face into arena sand, choking on blood, will you still refuse to kill him?" "If it comes to that," Superman said quietly, "yes." Princess's smile vanished. "Then you're a fool. Worse, a liability. Earthrealm cannot afford hopes in a warrior who fights with one hand tied behind his back." She turned to Raiden. "I came to deliver message from my father. He's intrigued by this Kryptonian, intrigued enough to make an offer." "Shao Kahn does not make offers," Liu Kang said suspiciously. "Usually, yes," Kitana agreed, "but these are unusual circumstances. The Emperor proposes, let the alien fight for Outworld instead of Earthrealm. In exchange, he'll grant Earthrealm reprieve. Delay realm merger for another generation. Your world gets 50 more years. Shao Kahn gets powerful new champion. Everyone benefits." "Except the next generation," Superman said, "who'll face the same threat." "But you'll be home," Kitana replied smoothly. back in your universe, reunited with loved ones. Isn't that what you want? Fight for Outworld, ensure our victory, and Shang Tsung will reverse the spell. You can leave this behind, return to your simpler world where heroes never make hard choices. Superman looked to Raiden, then Liu Kang, both expressions carefully neutral, but he could read tension. They were waiting to see what he'd choose. "No," Superman said simply. Kitana's eyebrow arched. "No? Just like that? You don't even want to consider—" "I don't need to consider it," Superman interrupted. "I don't abandon people who need help. I don't take shortcuts that hurt others. And I definitely don't work for tyrants, no matter what they're offering." Princess studied him for a long moment. Something shifted in her expression. Predatory smile softened into something almost genuine. "You really believe that? You're not posturing. You actually mean it." "Every word," Superman confirmed. Kitana sighed. "Then you're either the noblest fool I've ever met, or perhaps the first true hero I've encountered in 10,000 years. She moved toward exit, stopped, looking back. "For what it's worth, alien, I hope you survive. The realms could use someone like you, someone who still believes in something beyond power and conquest." She vanished into shadows, leaving Jasmine's scent. Liu Kang exhaled slowly. Unexpected. Kitana rarely shows interest in anyone, never reveals genuine emotion. "You've made an impression." "A dangerous one," Raiden added. "If Shao Kahn is interested enough to make offers, he sees you as tremendous asset or catastrophic threat. Either way, you've become primary target. Every warrior in Outworld's roster will be gunning for you." Superman's expression hardened. "Let them come. I didn't ask to be here, didn't ask to be part of this. But if I'm stuck in this situation, I'm going to do what I always do. Protect people, fight for what's right, and find a way to win without compromising who I am." "Even if it costs you your life?" Liu Kang asked. "Especially then," Superman replied. "Because if I survive by becoming someone I'm not, then I haven't really survived at all. I'll just be another monster wearing a hero's face." Raiden nodded slowly, something like approval in his glowing eyes. "Then we train, Kryptonian. Tournament begins at dawn. We have one night to prepare you for battles that will test every principle you hold dear." Training began immediately. Raiden led Superman to a courtyard open to Outworld's crimson sky. Strange constellations wheeled overhead. The air hummed with oppressive energy. "Before we begin," Raiden said, "you must understand tomorrow. 20 warriors will compete. 10 from Earthrealm, 10 from Outworld. Single elimination. Winner advances. Loser is determined by victor." "Meaning?" Superman asked. "Winner chooses whether loser lives or dies," Liu Kang explained, wearing simpler training garments. "It's called a fatality, finishing move that ends your opponent permanently. Most warriors use them. The crowd expects them. Shao Kahn demands them. And if I refuse? Then your opponent lives to potentially face you again," Raiden replied. "Or worse, they're humiliated. In Outworld culture, mercy is considered greater insult than death. Some warriors will hunt you down outside tournament for that dishonor." Superman absorbed this. "So kill them or make enemies who'll try to kill me later?" "Essentially, yes," Liu Kang confirmed. "Welcome to Mortal Kombat's impossible morality." "Then I'll deal with those consequences," Superman said firmly. "Show me what I need to know." Raiden and Liu Kang exchanged glances. Wordless communication passed. Finally, Thunder God nodded. "Liu Kang will teach you about chi manipulation. I will teach you about the warriors you'll face. But first," Raiden's expression grew grave, "you must understand the tournament's true nature." Thunder God raised hands, lightning crackled, forming images, scenes from previous tournaments. Superman watched warriors fight with savage intensity, saw bones broken, flesh torn, blood spilled in torrents. Saw fatalities, brutal finishing moves turning bodies into unrecognizable meat. One warrior ripped opponent's heart from chest while it still beat. Another froze their enemy solid, then shattered them like glass. A third used telekinesis to twist a man's head completely backward, spine snapping. Horrific, but Raiden didn't look away. Neither did Liu Kang. "This is what awaits you," Raiden said quietly. "This is Mortal Kombat's reality. These aren't battles. They're executions disguised as sport. Tomorrow, you'll face warriors who've perfected these techniques over centuries." Superman's jaw was tight, but eyes remained open. "Show me more." For the next hour, Raiden displayed fighter after fighter. Reptile, shape-shifting lizard creature who spat acid and could turn invisible. Baraka, a Tarkatan with blade arms slicing through steel. Melina, Kitana's clone with razor teeth hidden beneath her mask. Goro, four-armed Shokan prince whose strength rivaled Superman's own. Each warrior had signature moves, each more lethal than the last. Superman studied them all, memorizing styles, noting weaknesses, planning strategies. "They're all killers," Superman said finally. "Of course," Liu Kang replied. "That's what Mortal Kombat selects for. Warriors willing and able to take lives, those who can't die in the first round." "Except you," Superman noted. "You've won tournaments without killing." Liu Kang's expression darkened. "I've won while minimizing kills. There's a difference. I've taken lives, Superman, more than I care to count. Each one weighs on my soul, but I did what was necessary to save my realm." "How?" Superman asked. "How did you win while keeping some part of yourself intact?" The monk was silent, staring up at alien stars. "By accepting that I would be forever changed. The man who entered the tournament and the man who left would not be the same person." "You're asking if you can maintain your principles in hell?" The answer is no. But you can choose which principles to sacrifice and which to protect with everything you have. Liu Kang turned to face him. "I chose to protect the innocent, even if it meant becoming less innocent myself. I chose to save my world, even if it meant staining my soul. I chose life over death whenever possible, but death over extinction when necessary. Those choices haunt me, but I can live with them because the alternative would have been worse." Superman felt the weight of those words. Tomorrow he would face real enemies. Warriors who wanted him dead, and he would have to decide how far he was willing to go. "Teach me," Superman said finally. "That last part," Raiden said quietly, "you'll have to figure out yourself. We can teach technique, strategy, but only you can decide where your line is." Liu Kang stepped forward. "Let's begin with Qi. Close your eyes. Feel the energy around you, not solar radiation, but life force flowing through all things. Qi is spiritual energy. Here, where your powers are diminished, learning to harness Qi might mean the difference between victory and death." Superman closed eyes, focusing inward. At first, he felt nothing but heartbeat, but gradually, super senses attuned to different frequencies. He began to perceive something else, a current of energy flowing through the courtyard, fortress, realm itself. Warm, alive, fundamentally different from solar radiation. "I feel it," Superman said, surprised. "Good," Liu Kang replied. "Now draw it into yourself. Let it flow through your body like water through riverbed. Don't force it. Just allow it." Superman tried. Energy resisted at first. His Kryptonian biology was optimized for solar energy, not spiritual power. But gradually, with patient effort, he felt Qi beginning to flow. It trickled into him like drops, then stream, then river. Intoxicating. His eyes snapped open, glowing brighter than normal. Energy crackled around fists, not heat vision, not freeze breath, but something new, something that felt almost alive. Impressive, Raiden observed. Most warriors train for years to achieve what you just did in minutes. It feels wrong somehow, Superman admitted. Chi energy felt foreign in his cells, fighting against natural solar-powered biology. That's because you are, Liu Kang explained. Your body was designed to process solar radiation. Now you're asking it to process spiritual energy simultaneously. The conflict you feel is your biology trying to reconcile two incompatible power sources. Can I use both? Superman asked. Theoretically, yes, Raiden replied. But it would require perfect balance. Too much solar energy and Chi will be overwhelmed. Too much Chi and Kryptonian powers will short-circuit. You would need to walk a razor's edge. Then that's what I'll learn, Superman said. For the rest of the night, they trained. Liu Kang taught Superman basic Chi techniques, channel energy into strikes, create protective barriers, sense opponents' life force. Raiden taught him about realm magic, dimensional energies, ways Outworld's warriors would attack not just his body, but his soul. By the time Outworld's sun began rising, bloated red orb nothing like Earth's yellow star, Superman was exhausted in ways he'd never experienced. Not physically tired, but spiritually drained. Chi training had pushed him to limits he didn't know existed. Rest, Raiden commanded. 2 hours before tournament begins. Use them to center yourself. Meditate on what you've learned. Prepare yourself mentally for what comes next. Superman nodded, too tired to argue. As he settled into meditation pose, he reflected on everything since his arrival. He'd been ripped from his world, thrown into tournament built on murder, challenged by killers, forced to confront impossible choices. But he was still Superman, still Kal-El of Krypton, Clark Kent of Earth. Still a hero who believed in something better. And tomorrow, in that blood-soaked arena, he would prove heroism could exist even in hell. He had to. Because if he couldn't, then what hope was there for anyone? The tournament began with thunder, literal thunder. Raiden's voice amplified across the arena, announcing first matches to a crowd, roaring like a hungry beast. Superman stood in the preparation chamber, hands clenched, trying to center himself. Around him, other Earthrealm warriors prepared. Some meditated, others sharpened weapons. All looked nervous. The bracket had been posted an hour ago. Superman was matched against Baraka in the first round, the Tarkatan with blade arms and reputation for savagery. Raiden had warned him. Baraka shows no mercy, takes no prisoners, never leaves opponents alive. 27 tournament victories, 27 kills. Nervous? Liu Kang appeared beside him, arms crossed. The monk had his own match later, against Reptile. I've faced worse odds, Superman replied, but his voice lacked conviction. Baraka is fast, Liu Kang said. Faster than he looks. Those blade arms can slice through most materials. He'll go for killing blows immediately. No testing, just brutal efficiency. How do I beat him without killing him? Superman asked. Liu Kang was quiet. You don't, not really. Baraka won't surrender, won't retreat, won't accept defeat. Even if you break every bone, he'll keep coming. The only way to truly stop him is... The monk trailed off. Is to kill him, Superman finished, stomach churning. There has to be another way. Perhaps, Liu Kang said, but you'll need to think of it quickly. Before Superman could respond, Raiden materialized in lightning flash. It's time, Kryptonian. Your match is first. Superman took deep breath, exhaled slowly, felt the chi energy, felt his solar-powered strength still present despite this realm's interference. He was ready. or as ready as he'd ever be. The walk to the arena felt longer than it should have. The corridor was lined with flickering torches. Superman heard the crowd before he saw them. Thousands of voices chanting, screaming, demanding blood. When he emerged into daylight, the noise hit like physical force. The arena was massive. Easily 50,000 spectators packed the stands. Humans, Shokan, Tarkatans, species Superman couldn't identify. They booed as he entered, throwing garbage and insults. To them, he was unknown, outsider, prey. Opposite him, Baraka emerged from the outworld gate. The Tarkatan was even more horrifying up close. 7 feet tall, heavily muscled, yellow eyes holding no trace of humanity. His blade arms gleamed, 2-foot-long serrated bone protrusions sharp enough to cut steel. His mouth was full of razor teeth arranged like shark rows. He smiled when he saw Superman, expression pure predatory joy. "Fresh meat," Baraka growled, voice like grinding gravel. "I will wear your intestines as a necklace, alien." Superman didn't respond. Trash talk was pointless here. Shang Tsung appeared in Arena Center, materializing from green flame. The sorcerer spread arms wide, addressing the crowd. "Welcome to Mortal Kombat. Our first match features Baraka of the Tarkatan Horde versus the mysterious Kryptonian warrior summoned from another realm." The crowd's reaction was mixed. Some cheered for Baraka, others seemed intrigued by Superman. Shang Tsung's smile was poisonous. "The rules are simple," the sorcerer continued. "Fight until one cannot continue. Victory is determined by surrender, unconsciousness, or death. The winner may choose mercy or to finish their opponent." His gaze lingered on Superman. "Though mercy, as we know, is for the weak." Shang Tsung vanished in flameburst. For a moment, Arena was silent, then, "Fight!" Baraka moved like lightning. Despite his size, the Tarkatan was fast, faster than Superman expected. Blade arms slashed in crossing pattern, aiming for throat and chest simultaneously. Clark dodged backward, feeling air split where his neck had been. Those blades were sharp enough to hurt him even through invulnerability. Superman countered with a punch, pulling it to maybe quarter strength. His fist connected with Baraka's jaw, and the Tarkatan's head snapped aside. But Baraka rolled with impact, using momentum to spin and slash at Superman's midsection. The blade arm caught Superman's side, and Clark felt pain, actual pain, as weapons scored his skin. Not deep, not serious, but enough to draw blood. The crowd erupted. First blood had been drawn, and it was Superman's. Baraka's smile widened, showing more teeth. "You bleed," the Tarkatan hissed. "Good. I was worried you would be boring." Superman wiped blood from his side. He'd been hurt more in the past 2 days than in the past 2 years. Baraka attacked again, blade arms moving in patterns too fast for normal eyes. But Superman's eyes weren't normal. He tracked each strike, blocked what he could, dodged the rest. But the Tarkatan was relentless. Every blocked strike was followed by another. Baraka fought like wild animal. No defense, only offense. Overwhelming through pure aggression. Superman tried to create distance, flying upward, but Baraka leaped impossibly high, blade arms extended. The Tarkatan's jump carried him 20 feet up, and he came down on Superman like falling missile. Both blade arms drove towards Superman's chest, and Clark barely twisted aside in time. They crashed back to arena floor together, impact cratering ground. Baraka was already moving, slashing at Superman's face. Clark caught both blade arms, holding them away from his eyes. The Tarkatan's strength was immense, not quite superhuman, but close. And those blades were sharp enough that if Superman's grip slipped even slightly, they'd open his throat. "You are strong, alien," Baraka growled, pushing harder. Blade arms inched closer to Superman's face. But strength is not enough. You must be willing to kill, otherwise you die. The Tarkatan head-butted Superman, impact stunning. In that moment of distraction, Baraka pulled one blade arm free and slashed across Superman's chest. The blade cut through his suit, through his skin, drawing a line of blood. Not deep, but it hurt. Superman roared in pain and anger. He grabbed Baraka by throat and threw him, really threw him, using maybe half his strength. The Tarkatan flew across arena, slamming into far wall with force that should have broken bones. The crowd gasped at the power display. But Baraka rose, slowly, unsteadily. But he rose. Blood dripped from his mouth, and one blade arm hung at odd angle. But his eyes held no fear, only hatred and determination. Good, Baraka spat blood. Make it hurt, alien. Make it mean something when I kill you. He charged again. Superman met the charge with flying tackle, both fighters colliding mid-arena with tremendous force. They traded blows, each strike echoing like thunderclaps. Superman tried to disable, incapacitate. Baraka tried to kill, and gradually Superman realized the horrible truth. Liu Kang had been right. Baraka wouldn't stop, couldn't stop. Even with broken ribs, fractured limbs, even dying, the Tarkatan would keep fighting. Because to stop, to surrender, to show weakness, that was fate worse than death in this culture. Superman had a choice to make, and he had to make it now in the heat of battle, with thousands of bloodthirsty spectators watching his every move. Kill or be killed. There was no middle ground, not here, not in Mortal Kombat. Superman made his decision in a heartbeat. He wouldn't kill Baraka, but he would end this fight. The Tarkatan charged again, blade arms extended. Superman was ready. He'd spent the night learning chi manipulation, learning how to attack not just body, but life force itself. Superman moved faster than Baraka could track. His fist glowed with combined chi and solar energy, hybrid power that shouldn't exist. The strike connected with Baraka's solar plexus. The Tarkatan froze mid-charge. Eyes went wide. Blade arms dropped to sides, powerless. He tried to move, but his body wouldn't respond. Superman had struck a pressure point with spiritual energy. A chi strike precise enough to paralyze without killing. Baraka collapsed to knees, unable to support his weight. His mouth worked, but nothing came. The crowd fell silent, confused. This wasn't fatality. This was something they'd never seen. I won't kill you, Superman said quietly, but I won't let you keep fighting. You're done. Surrender. The Tarkatan's eyes burned with fury. He tried to speak, tried to move, but Chi Strike had locked his nervous system. Physically helpless, mentally, spiritually, still fighting. Shang Tsung materialized beside them. Most unusual, the sorcerer said, studying Baraka's paralyzed form. The alien has won, clearly. Baraka cannot continue. But, he turned to Superman, smile predatory. You have not finished him. By Mortal Kombat rules, you must either kill your opponent or spare them. There is no middle ground. I'm showing mercy, Superman said firmly. Baraka lives. Mercy? Shang Tsung laughed. You've left him paralyzed, helpless. In Outworld culture, this is the deepest insult possible. You've told him he's not worthy of warrior's death. He will spend life dishonored. You think you've been merciful, but you've condemned him to fate worse than death. Superman looked down at Baraka. The Tarkatan's eyes confirmed it. No gratitude, only rage and humiliation. Superman had tried to spare him, but destroyed him more completely than any fatality. The paralysis is temporary, Superman said. He'll recover in hours. And then he will hunt you, Shang Tsung replied. Not in tournament, outside it, in shadows, in your sleep. Baraka will dedicate his existence to killing you. You've made an enemy for life, all because you refused to give him the warrior's death he craved. The sorcerer raised voice, addressing crowd. The victor, Superman of Krypton. Crowd's reaction was mixed. Some cheered. Others booed the refusal to finish. Superman walked away from Baraka's paralyzed form. He'd won. He'd survived. He'd maintained principles. But somehow it felt like defeat. Liu Kang was waiting in corridor. The monk's expression was complicated, proud and sad. You found a way. That chi strike was masterfully done. But I made an enemy, Superman said, wiping blood from chest. Wounds were already healing. Shang Tsung is a liar, Liu Kang interrupted. But in this case, he speaks truth. Baraka will come for you. You've humiliated him before his entire culture. That's unforgivable in Outworld. Superman slumped against wall, exhausted. I can't win here. If I kill, I become a murderer. If I don't kill, I create enemies who'll hunt me forever. What am I supposed to do? Survive, Liu Kang said simply. That's all any of us can do. He placed hand on Superman's shoulder. You fought well. You found a way to win without killing. That's more than most can say. Before Superman could respond, Raiden materialized. Thunder God's expression was grave. We have a problem. Shao Kahn has declared that your refusal to perform fatality constitutes disrespect. He's demanding you face a second opponent immediately, without rest, without recovery. Superman's eyes narrowed. That's not in the rules. Shao Kahn makes the rules, Raiden replied. The Emperor has decided your mercy was cowardice. He wants to test whether you'll show same cowardice against more dangerous opponent. Who? Superman asked. Raiden's expression darkened. Goro, the Shokan Prince, four-armed champion who's won 9 consecutive tournaments. Strongest warrior in Outworld's arsenal, aside from Shao Kahn himself. Liu Kang's face went pale. That's suicide. Superman is injured, exhausted from using chi. Goro will tear him apart. Which is exactly what Shao Kahn wants, Raiden said. He sees Superman as threat to his philosophy, his worldview. A warrior who refuses to kill challenges everything the Emperor has built his empire upon. So he's arranging for that warrior to die, quickly and brutally, as warning. Superman pushed himself off wall, standing straight despite exhaustion. Then I'll beat Goro too, without killing him. You can't, Liu Kang said flatly. Goro is different from Baraka. Goro is trained warrior, educated in combat strategy, physically stronger than you even at full power. And you're not at full power. You're injured, tired. You've expended much chi energy. You can't win this fight. Then I'll lose fighting, Superman replied. But I won't compromise, I won't kill. Not even to save myself. Raiden studied him for a long moment. Lightning crackled around Thunder God's eyes. You are either the bravest fool I've ever met, or the most foolish brave. But if you insist on this course, then I will do everything in my power to help you survive. Thunder God raised hands. Lightning enveloped Superman, warm and energizing. Clark felt wounds healing faster, strength returning, depleted chi energy replenishing. Not completely, but enough to give him fighting chance. I cannot do more than this, Raiden said. Elder God's laws prohibit direct interference, but I can give you this much. The rest is up to you, and your principles. And whether those principles are strong enough to sustain you against impossible odds. Superman nodded. They are. They have to be. The corridor shook, literally shook, as if something massive was approaching. Superman heard footsteps, heavy, deliberate, each making stone floor tremble. From shadows, Goro emerged. The Shokan Prince was even more terrifying than holograms suggested. 8 feet tall, easily 500 pounds of solid muscle, 4 arms, each thick as tree trunks, ending in hands that could crush skulls. His face was almost human, but harder, crueler, with eyes holding cold intelligence. This wasn't savage like Baraka. This was warrior king, educated and deadly. "So," Goro rumbled, voice like distant thunder. "You are the alien who refuses to kill. How quaint, how pathetic." All 4 arms flexed, muscles rippling. "I have killed over 100 warriors in these tournaments. Each one died screaming. You will be no different, Kryptonian, except that when I finish with you, there will not be enough left to scream." Superman met Goro's gaze without flinching. "Then, let's get this over with." They walked toward Arena together, hero and monster, principle and pragmatism, mercy and murder. And Superman knew the next fight would determine not just his survival, but the very soul of his heroism. Behind them, Liu Kang whispered a prayer to elder gods, because everyone watching knew Superman was walking toward his death. The only question was whether his principles would die with him. The arena erupted when Goro entered. The crowd loved the Shokan Prince, 9-time champion, undefeated in decades, living legend. They chanted his name like war cry. Superman walked to his position and cheers turned to jeers. They wanted to see him die. Shang Tsung materialized between them, smile poisonous. A special treat. The mysterious alien faces Outworld's greatest warrior in immediate succession. Let us see if his mercy extends to facing Goro's wrath. Shang Tsung vanished. Arena fell silent then. "Fight!" Goro didn't charge like Baraka. The Shokan Prince advanced slowly, deliberately, all 4 arms spread wide. Movements calculated, professional. This was master strategist who'd studied Superman's fight, identified weaknesses, formulated a plan. "You rely on speed," Goro rumbled, "but speed alone cannot defeat me. I have killed faster opponents." 2 arms gestured. "Your strength is impressive, but I am stronger. Your technique is crude. Mine has been refined over centuries." Superman didn't respond. He analyzed Goro's movement, looking for openings. But the Shokan's stance was perfect. No obvious weaknesses, all 4 arms positioned to defend or attack instantly. Goro struck without warning. All 4 arms moved simultaneously, too high, too low, attacking from multiple angles. Superman blocked high strikes, but low ones caught ribs and kidney. Impact drove air from lungs. Goro hit harder than Baraka, much harder. Superman retaliated with heat vision. Twin beams lanced toward Goro's chest, but Shokan Prince moved impossibly fast, dodging aside. One massive hand grabbed Superman's cape, yanking him off balance. Another fist crashed into jaw. Third drove into stomach. Fourth uppercut caught chin, snapping head back. Combination was devastating. Superman found himself airborne, thrown backward by sheer force. He hit arena wall hard enough to crater stone, then slumped to ground. Vision swam, blood-filled mouth. "Disappointing," Goro said, advancing. "I see only another fragile alien who bleeds like any other." Superman pushed himself upright, spitting blood. Regeneration was working, but slower. Magic interfering with healing factor. He needed new strategy. He flew upward, trying aerial advantage. But Goro leaped impossibly high. 2 arms grabbed Superman mid-flight. Other 2 rained blows. They tumbled back to Earth, cratering arena floor. Goro landed on top, all 4 arms pinning Superman. Shokan's weight was immense, 500 pounds pressing Superman into ground. 2 hands gripped wrists, other 2 closed around throat, squeezing. "I could snap your neck now," Goro hissed. End this quickly. But where's the sport? No, I'll take my time. Let you feel every broken bone, every moment of agony before death claims you. Superman struggled, but Goro's grip was iron. Hands tightened around throat, cutting off air. Vision began to darken. Then he remembered Liu Kang's lessons. Chi wasn't just offense, it was defense, about flowing around obstacles, finding balance. Superman stopped struggling, stopped fighting Goro's strength with his own. Instead, he channeled Chi energy through his body, making himself intangible for just a moment. Goro's grip faltered. In that instant, Superman twisted free. He rolled away, gasping. Goro was already pursuing, but Superman was ready. He used speed properly, not to overpower, but to evade. He became a blur, striking from angles Goro couldn't predict, then vanishing. Each strike was precise. Superman targeted pressure points, joints, nerve clusters. He wasn't trying to overpower Goro. He was trying to disable him piece by piece. Goro roared in frustration. "Stand still and fight like a warrior." "I'm fighting smart," Superman replied. "There's a difference." But Superman knew he was tiring. Combination of injuries, exhaustion, chi expenditure was taking toll. Movements slowing, strikes losing power. And Goro showed no signs of fatigue. Shokan Prince smiled grimly. "You're weakening. Soon you'll make a mistake. And when you do, I'll rip your spine from your body." Superman's mind raced. He couldn't win through attrition. Goro's endurance was too great. Couldn't win through power. He needed something else. Then he saw it. Goro's pattern. Shokan Prince favored his upper right arm. Old injury, perhaps. But it was weakness, small but exploitable. Superman feinted left, drawing Goro's attention. Shokan's lower arms moved to block. But Superman's real target was upper right arm. He struck with everything he had left. Solar energy, chi power, Kryptonian strength, focused on one point. Impact shattered Goro's elbow joint. Shokan Prince howled, arm hanging useless. Superman didn't stop. He pressed advantage, striking same arm again and again. But in desperation, Superman overextended. Goro's 3 remaining arms caught him in crushing embrace. Shokan Prince lifted Superman high, then drove him down into arena floor with earth-shattering force. Impact left Superman stunned, barely conscious. Goro stood over him, breathing heavily. One arm hung useless, blood dripped from wounds. But Shokan Prince was still standing. "You broke my arm. For that, your death will be especially painful." 2 massive hands closed around Superman's head. Goro began to squeeze. Superman felt skull beginning to compress, felt bones starting to crack, heard crowd screaming for death. And in that moment, Clark Kent made a choice. He reached deep inside himself, deeper than ever, accessed reserves of power he'd kept locked away. Part of him that was pure Kryptonian, pure alien. Part that didn't understand human morality or restraint. His eyes erupted with heat vision, not controlled beams, but raw solar fury. Energy exploded outward in all directions, sphere of burning destruction. Goro screamed, releasing Superman's head, staggering backward with smoking hands. Superman rose, floating above ground. Energy crackled around him, solar radiation, chi power, something else, something primal. Crowd fell silent, awed and terrified. "I didn't want this," Superman said, voice echoing with power. "I tried to show mercy, tried to find another way, but you've left me no choice." Goro laughed despite pain. "Finally, the alien shows his true nature. Yes, kill me. Prove that you're no different from any other warrior. Prove that your precious principles were always a lie." Superman hesitated. Because Goro was right. If he killed the Shokan Prince now, he'd be admitting mercy was impossible. that principles couldn't survive Mortal Kombat, that he'd become exactly what this realm demanded, another killer. But if he didn't kill Goro, the Shokan would kill him. Kill or be killed, ultimate test of everything Superman believed in. The crowd held its breath, waiting to see which choice the alien would make. Superman floated above the arena, power crackling around him, faced with impossible choice. Below, Goro stood defiant despite injuries, waiting for death or humiliation. The crowd waited. Shang Tsung waited. The entire realm seemed to hold its breath. Then Superman closed his eyes, let the energy dissipate, descended to ground. "No," he said quietly. Goro's expression twisted. "What?" "I won't kill you," Superman said, "not because you're not dangerous, not because you don't deserve it by your culture's standards, but because the moment I kill you, I prove that this place is right, that mercy is weakness, that killing is the only answer, and I refuse to accept that." He turned to face Shang Tsung. "I forfeit the match. Goro wins." The crowd exploded in confusion, angry shouts, bewildered questions. This had never happened before. A warrior with victory in grasp, choosing defeat instead. Shang Tsung's eyes widened. "You forfeit after coming so close. You would throw away your chance to advance, your chance to return home, because you refuse to finish your opponent." "Yes," Superman said simply. Goro stared at him, confusion replacing rage. "Why? Why would you do this? You had me beaten. One more strike and I would be dead. You would have won." "I would have survived," Superman corrected. "But I wouldn't have won. Because winning on your terms means losing everything that makes me who I am." Raiden materialized in lightning flash, expression grave. "Superman, do you understand what you've done? By forfeiting, you've eliminated yourself from the tournament. You cannot advance, cannot earn your freedom through victory. You are trapped here indefinitely." "I know," Superman said, voice steady despite the weight. "But I'd rather be trapped here with my principles intact than go home as a murderer." Liu Kang appeared beside Raiden, face filled with mixed emotions. "You fool! You magnificent, stubborn fool!" Shao Kahn's voice boomed across the arena, amplified by dark magic. The Emperor materialized on his throne, massive and terrible. "Enough! The alien has forfeited. Goro advances, but—" Red eyes fixed on Superman with something that might have been respect or contempt. "The alien has proven himself too dangerous to remain free. A warrior who refuses to kill is unpredictable, chaotic. He disrupts the natural order." Shao Kahn stood and arena trembled. "I declare that the Kryptonian shall be imprisoned in the flesh pits, where his body will be studied, his power harvested, his will broken. Perhaps after centuries of suffering, he will beg for the honor of killing in my service." "No," Liu Kang shouted. "That violates tournament rules. He participated in good faith. He forfeited," Shao Kahn interrupted, "which means he's no longer protected by tournament law. He is mine to do with as I please." The Emperor gestured, and a dozen Tarkatan guards materialized around Superman, blade arms extended. "Take him to the pits." Superman could have fought, could have unleashed full extent of his power. But he'd made his choice. He would not kill, not even to save himself. Then Kitana stepped forward from stands. "Father, wait." Shao Kahn's eyes narrowed. "Daughter, you dare interrupt my judgment?" "I invoke the right of challenge," Kitana said clearly. "By ancient law, any warrior may challenge the Emperor's decree if they believe injustice is being done. I challenge your decision to imprison the Kryptonian." Arena fell deathly silent. Even Shao Kahn seemed surprised. "You would challenge me? Your own father? For an alien who means nothing to you?" "He means something to the realms," Kitana replied. "He represents something we've forgotten, that strength without honor is just brutality, that mercy without weakness is possible, that warriors can be more than killers. She looked at Superman. He forfeited to preserve his principles. That takes more courage than any fatality. Shao Kahn studied his daughter for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. "Very well. I accept your challenge, daughter. But not here, not now. We will settle this later, in private." His gaze shifted to Superman. The Kryptonian is spared, for now. But he remains in Outworld as my guest. He will not be imprisoned, but neither will he be free. And if he interferes with the tournament again, or attempts to leave this realm, the flesh pits await. The Emperor vanished in swirl of darkness. Tarkatan guards disappeared with him. Superman stood alone in Arena Center, unsure whether he'd won or lost. Kitana approached him. "You are either the bravest man I've ever met, or the most foolish. Perhaps both." "Thank you," Superman said, "for standing up for me. You didn't have to do that." "I know," Kitana replied, "but someone needed to. This realm has been drowning in blood for too long. Maybe your presence here will remind us that there are other ways." She turned to leave, then paused. "The tournament continues. Earthrealm still needs to win 6 more matches to avoid merger. Your forfeit made their task harder. I hope your principles are worth that cost." Superman watched her go, weight of her words settling on him. He'd saved his soul, yes. But at what price? How many would suffer if Earthrealm lost because he'd eliminated himself? Raiden and Liu Kang approached. Thunder God's expression was unreadable. "You've created a situation without precedent, Kryptonian. Shao Kahn is intrigued by you now, which is dangerous. Kitana has made herself your champion, which puts her at risk, and Earthrealm has lost a potential warrior." "I'm sorry," Superman said, "but I couldn't—" "I know," Raiden interrupted. "And perhaps that's what we needed to see. A reminder that not all battles are won with blood. That sometimes the greatest victory is refusing to fight on the enemy's terms." Liu Kang clasped Superman's shoulder. "You fought well. More importantly, you fought with honor. That's rare in these tournaments. Rare in this realm." The monk smiled slightly. "Maybe you'll teach us something after all. Maybe mercy isn't weakness. Maybe it's the hardest form of strength." They led Superman from the arena. Behind them, crowds slowly dispersed, talking in hushed voices about what they'd witnessed. A warrior who chose defeat over compromise, who valued principles over victory, who proved that even in hell heroism could exist. Superman didn't know what would happen next, didn't know if he'd ever get home, didn't know if his choice would matter. But as he walked between Thunder God and Earthrealm's champion, he knew one thing with absolute certainty. He was still Superman, still a hero, still himself. And in Mortal Kombat's blood-soaked realm of brutal pragmatism and casual cruelty, that was a victory more important than any tournament could measure. Days passed in Outworld, strange and surreal. Superman remained Shao Kahn's guest, neither prisoner nor free. He watched the tournament continue from the shadows, saw Liu Kang fight with desperate brilliance, saw Earthrealm's warriors fall one by one. The odds grew longer with each match, but something had shifted in the realm. Warriors whispered about the alien who'd chosen defeat over murder. Some called him fool, others called him coward, but a few, a precious few, called him something else. Revolutionary. Inspiration, hope. Kitana visited him in the nights, speaking of Outworld's history, of the empire her father had built on mountains of corpses. She confessed her own doubts, her own exhaustion with endless violence. Superman listened, and in listening, planted seeds of change. Scorpion came too, seeking answers. Why had Superman spared him when they fought? Why show mercy to a vengeful specter who deserved none? Superman's words were simple. Because every soul deserves a chance at redemption, even yours. The specter left without responding. But his hellfire burned less bright afterward. Sub-Zero never came. But Superman heard rumors. The Lin Kuei assassin had begun questioning contracts, refusing kills that served no purpose beyond cruelty. Small changes, but changes nonetheless. The tournament reached its climax. Liu Kang faced Shang Tsung in the final match, and the Thunder God's champion fought not with hatred, but with the calm certainty Superman had shown. When Liu Kang won without killing the sorcerer, when he offered Shang Tsung mercy the sorcerer didn't deserve, the crowd fell silent. Then they cheered. Not all of them, not even most, but enough. Earthrealm was saved, the merger prevented, and Raiden finally found the magic to send Superman home, the spell unraveling as the tournament's purpose was fulfilled. You changed something here, the Thunder God said as the portal home began to form. Something fundamental. Mercy is still seen as weakness by most, but now at least a few understand it as strength. That's more than we had before. Will it last? Superman asked. I don't know, Raiden admitted. Change is slow, especially in realms built on violence, but you've proven it's possible, that even in the darkest places, light can exist. That will have to be enough. Superman stepped toward the portal, then paused. He looked back at Goro, still recovering from their battle, at Kitana, watching with unreadable expression, at Liu Kang, who bowed with deep respect. If you ever need me, Superman said, find a way to call. I'll come back, not as a warrior, but as a friend. Then he stepped through the portal and returned to his universe, to his Earth, to his metropolis. But part of him remained in Outworld, not as a fighter, but as a symbol. Proof that principles could survive even hell. And in the blood-soaked arena where he'd refused to kill, where he'd chosen defeat over compromise, his legend grew. The alien who fought without killing. The warrior who proved mercy could be strength. In a realm of monsters, Superman had remained a hero, and sometimes that was the greatest victory possible. May the Force be with you. More stories await.